I don't think credible. I think it was expected. In fact, just a few minutes ago, word came up via Russian state media that Russian security services have uncovered the suspect. They blame it on a 40-plus-year-old Ukrainian citizen who followed Dugina around and also to the festival, rented an apartment at the same block. So I think this was to be expected. Maybe we can call it like a false flag operation, and they will use this, I think, to set off more retaliation against Ukraine. It is not a bridge too far for the Putin circle to actually kill someone who's fairly close to them in order to allow this sort of thing to happen. So we shouldn't be surprised by it.
Yeah, so the group that claimed responsibility, you don't think it was them. You're more likely to think that it was almost a Russian attack on Russian.
Yeah, and this has happened in the past under Mr. Putin's regime. I have to be careful what I say because I am in Odesa, but of course, it's not beyond them to do this sort of thing. As we speak, actually, we're hearing reports also of the Russians stocking up in the Black Sea of more of those long-range missiles that can hit Odessa, Lviv, Kiev, almost anywhere in Ukraine. So this is very, very worrisome to a lot of people here in Ukraine of what the Russians might do based on this, what I think is a manufactured story.
Yeah. It's interesting, too, that it comes during the week where Ukraine will be celebrating their Independence Day, which is this Wednesday. It also marks 6 months since the start of the war. Do you think they're leading to a very big statement, a big military statement, Russia?
Well, I can tell you from the moment I woke up this morning, Bev, there's been almost nonstop air raid sirens here in Odessa as well as elsewhere in Ukraine. This could mean there are missiles on their way. We don't know. The Ukrainians have increased their capability in terms of shooting down incoming missiles. But, I was just outside a moment ago when another air raid siren alarm went off and, an entire shopping center was evacuated. How are businesses expected to go back to normal when there's this type of interruption? How are mothers and their children expected to not have anxiety when this sort of thing is happening? Having said all of that, Ukrainians are showing incredible defiance. In Kyiv, a lot of your audience probably saw those visuals of these captured Russian tanks and other pieces of armor lining up on Khreshchatyk, the main boulevard. That sort of thing is happening all over Ukraine, and it's a source of pride and defiance from the Ukrainians.
Yeah. Again, urgings today to secure Zaporizhzhia, the nuclear facility. Now, this follows further shelling on a nearby town very close to the facility. There's no indication that there is going to be any effort to try and contain this and ensure that it is safe.
Well, Bev, when Secretary General Guterres was here a few days ago in Lviv, he did say that IAEA inspectors are in Kyiv, they're ready to go. And then over the weekend, we heard from Moscow that they may allow these inspectors there. But I don't think anything has happened on that front. What I can tell you, aside from the very, very dangerous shelling that is happening inside the plant, reading the Telegram channel of staff there, they're being very, very badly intimidated. They have to go, for example, to the lavatory under armed escort by Russian guards, and some of them have been sent home, not coming back. It's absolutely chilling when you think about it, because under these sorts of conditions, the room for error is almost zero. And if somebody makes a mistake or if they do some kind of provocation, it will be felt, and it has to be underlined that anything that happens at the Zaporizhzhia plant could affect the entire globe. Something needs to be done immediately.
And it's not the only asset in terms of energy that Russia has seized. It seems that their long game is to really deprive Ukraine of any sort of energy sources as the winter approaches.
Yeah, it's the weaponization of energy, not only in Ukraine, but throughout Western Europe. And I spoke, for example, to the deputy mayor of Lviv the other day, and he said there is a real fear that the Russians will continue to strike on these central heating plants that cover a lot of Ukraine. Everything is centralized here when it comes to heating. And mayors in eastern Ukraine have requested support from Lviv in terms of taking some of their residents if the heating doesn't work. And there's a good chance that may happen. As far as I know, the Ukrainian power grid is okay if the Zaporizhzhia plant went off. But if the Russians continue to strike coal-fired plants, things like that, very, very serious trouble as the winter nears.
You know, how do you feel, Michael, as we approach this 6-month anniversary of this ongoing invasion? You talk of the resistance that Ukraine seems to be becoming quite smart about using their capacity well, but it does feel like we're still in this for the long haul.
Yeah, we are in it for the long haul, definitely. And I think we see that from Ukrainians who have, against their will, had been forced to immigrate abroad and are not yet ready to come back. I think it's going to be very, very important for countries like Australia, which has been supportive to Ukraine, to provide more weaponry and also to help in that reconstruction of Ukraine. The reconstruction bill has topped, I think, about $1 trillion now. But Ukraine desperately needs more weapons, and it needs the ability to start getting its western oblast back to life. If the skies can be closed at least partially, I am told that will allow more investment, more tourism to come back in, and life can continue as normal as it can. But the Ukraine cannot do this alone. It needs strong support from the West.
Yeah, and it needs ongoing support, as you point out. Michael, thank you so much as always. Stay safe.
My pleasure. Thank you.